Welcome back to Jim's EV Adventures. Today we're diving into a topic that's generating a lot of buzz, the elimination of the $7,500 tax credit for electric vehicles. We're going to explore what this means for EV sales, debunk some common misconceptions about EVs, and provide you with objective, data-driven insights. But first, let's talk about the difference between subjective and objective analysis, because in the world of EVs, that matters. When it comes to discussing EVs, there are two ways people tend to form their opinions, subjectively and objectively. Subjective analysis is based on personal feelings, experiences, biases. Essentially, it's opinion-driven. For example, someone who's never driven an EV might say they don't have enough range or they're too expensive. These opinions stem from hearsay or misconceptions rather than actual experience. Objective analysis, on the other hand, is based on data, facts, and measurable observations. Since I've driven both EVs and ICE cars, I can provide an informed, objective perspective that considers real-world data like cost savings, efficiency, and environmental impact. The key takeaway? Objective analysis leads to better, more informed decisions, while subjective opinions can often mislead and perpetuate myths. That's why Jim's EV Adventures exist today, to destroy misleading information, crush the ICE is better and EVs won't work mythos, and to stand against the myriad of lies about green energy and electric vehicles. So, let's dive right in with the $7,500 tax credit. The federal tax credit has undeniably played a role in promoting EV adoption. However, as the market evolves, the influence of this incentive is changing. A study by the Environmental Defense Fund indicates that many EVs are approaching price parity with internal combustion engine vehicles, even without tax credit. So the myth that EVs cost more is busted. Moreover, the total cost of ownership, TCO, for EVs often undercuts that of ICE vehicles. Factors like lower maintenance cost, the decreasing price of electricity compared to gasoline, and other minor issues contribute to these savings. Even though the baby drill ideology of the current administration will drive down operating costs for the ICE car, remember it will also drive down the cost for operating your EV. Think it through and comment accordingly. Not only that, according to the Consumer Reports, EV owners can save between $6,000 and $10,000 over the lifetime of the vehicle compared to their internal combustion engine counterparts. While the removal of the tax credit might lead to a temporary dip in sales, and I guarantee you if they dip in January, the ICE bloaters are going to be out there, oh look, the end of the EV. In fact, I've already had a few comments talking about that. But the long-term trajectory for EV adoption is going to remain positive. The market is steadily moving towards a future where EVs are the norm, driven by technological advancements and consumer awareness. So one of the biggest things that we talk about on the environmental side of an EV is the CO2 emissions. Rising CO2 levels have been a result of the burning of carbon-based fuels. Let's take a step back and look at the broader picture. The scientific community has established a clear correlation between the increasing atmospheric CO2 and the burning of carbon-based fuels like petroleum, coal, and natural gas. This correlation is absolute. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, atmospheric CO2 levels have surged from about 280 parts per million to over 425 parts per million today, a level that is unprecedented in human history. Most of that increase has happened since 1960, when humanity really stepped on the gas pedal, pun intended. Burning of these carbon-based fuels releases vast amounts of CO2, which traps heat in the Earth's atmosphere and contributes to global warming and overall climate change. While correlation does not prove causation, the overwhelming body of evidence strongly suggests that human activity is a significant driver in climate change. The transition to EVs represents a crucial step in reducing CO2 emissions and mitigating further climate impacts. And for my children and grandchildren, I want to thank you if you're driving an EV. And if you're not driving an EV, consider one. And speaking of CO2 emissions, one of the arguments that everybody makes about the EV is the amount of CO2 and the carbon footprint associated with the production, particularly the manufacturing of the batteries. It's true that producing an EV can generate more CO2 emissions up front compared to an ICE vehicle. However, multiple studies have shown that over the vehicle's lifetime, EVs produced significantly lower CO2 emissions. And by the time most EVs hit 25,000 miles, they have hit CO2 parity with their ICE counterpart. And from there out, the EV wins the race. And for instance, research by the Nickel Institute highlights that even when accounting for those production emissions, EVs result in a net reduction in greenhouse gas emissions over their lifespan. This is largely due to the higher efficiency of electric drivetrains and the increasing amount of renewable energy sources that are going into our electrical generation. As the energy grid continues to decarbonize, the lifetime of emissions of EVs will further make a decrease, making them an even more environmentally friendly choice than they are today. Another concern that comes up in the argument about EVs is the longevity of the EV battery. Concerns about the longevity of the EV battery are understandable, but they're often overstated. Advancements in battery technology have led to significant improvement in durability and lifespan. All U.S. manufacturers offer warranties of at least 8 years or 100,000 miles on the EV battery and drivetrain. And real-world data suggests that they can last much, much longer with minimal degradation. Manufacturers are looking to increase that warranty to 10 years or 150,000 miles, much like Tesla has already done. In contrast, the internal combustion engine requires regular maintenance and is subject to wear and tear that can lead to costly repairs or replacements. The simpler mechanics of the electric motor means fewer moving parts, resulting in less maintenance and longer operational life. Few, if any, manufacturers warrant their internal combustion engines beyond 60,000 miles. And the cost to replace an engine? Let's just say it's substantial, much more than half the cost of a new EV battery. Investing in an EV not only offers environmental benefits, but also promises longevity and reliability, very often surpassing that of traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. In summary, while the potential removal of the $7,500 tax credit may pose short-term challenges, the future of the electric vehicle remains bright and hopeful. With decreasing costs, lower lifetime CO2 emissions, and superior longevity, EVs are poised to become the standard mode of transportation. So why should opinions formed without experience or scientific backing matter more than objective, data-driven analysis like you get here at Jim's EV Adventures? As someone who has driven both the electric vehicle and the internal combustion engine, and someone who understands atmospheric science because I am a meteorologist, I can confidently say, based on objective evidence and fact-based information, the transition to electric is not just a trend, it's a necessary step toward a cleaner and more sustainable future. If we don't do it, we're in trouble. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon for more insights. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What's your take on the future of EVs? What's your thoughts on the loss of the $7,500 tax credit? Until next time, keep driving electric and stay informed. Listen to those with an objective analysis. Reject those who come to you with an emotional appeal. And I'll see you out there or somewhere along the route from point A to point B. Take it easy, everybody.